Hello and welcome to Chapter 1 of the Portal 2 speedrun tutorial, the second installment in the series. We'll be going over how to speedrun Chapter 1 of the game, and also be going over how to set up containerized save, because that is incredibly useful if you want to save 5 minutes of your time every time you start a run. It won't help your runs at all, like in terms of time, it doesn't give you any advantage, but it's incredibly useful, and I would recommend that everybody uses it. But if for some reason you don't want to use containerized save, then I will quickly go over everything you need to do in containerized. So one thing that's actually important, you might want to remember this for everyone, or for the whole game. If you ever want to pause on the first tick, then wait till the loading bar on the right, wait until there are 2 dots left, or just before there's 2 dots left. And then you'll pause on the first tick. This is what it looks like if you pause on the first tick of containerized. You're standing up before the white stuff, the white screen, and then this is where you would like record whatever. Oh yeah, something else important. If you all runs, at least for now, every single Portal 2 run, if you want to submit it, you have to record demos, I believe. So to do that, you have to type record and then literally any name that doesn't have like any illegal characters. Like, I don't know what an illegal character is, but just don't put a space. So you just type record and then literally anything, name it something like Jeff, something funny, and then type that. And as long as you have sar underscore auto record 1 set to true, or set to 1 like I showed in the last video, that demo will record forever unless you literally restart the game or type stop. The command stop stops recording your demos. And then once you've done a run, you take those demos they'll be in your Portal 2 folder, put them in a zip file, put it on Google Drive, and then upload it with your run. At least for high level runs, you need to do that, and I would recommend doing that for lower level runs, because it means you don't have to upload a video for lower level runs. At least now. Doesn't need to be zipped. You're not going to upload 70, 60 demos. But anyway, very, very quickly, I will go over how to do containerized. So, this first part is really easy. I'm actually going to speed it up a little. You just wait for him to start talking. Look up first, and then look down. And then something interesting here. He's going to ask us to look at this painting. You actually do have to look at the painting, otherwise he waits long for dialogue, and that's a big mess. And then once you've done this, just wait longer forever. Wow. Oh my god, he keeps talking. Oh, hi, cat. And then once you've done this, just click on the bed. One thing to notice when you click on the bed, the screen's gonna go white. And then once it goes white, hold back and left, and then if you hold back and left until the screen goes back, oh my, this cat is chewing on my headphone cable. But if you hold if you hold back and left until your screen goes back from white, then you will end up directly at the door where Wheatley is, and you don't have to do anything.
Good morning.
Just like that. Hey, let me get this cat out of my room real quick.
Good. Looking good, actually. Are you okay? Are you... Well, don't answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it slow.
Please prepare for emergency evacuation.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Prepare. That's all I'm saying. Prepare.
Alright,
fine.
that problem's solved.
Don't move. I'm going to get us out of here. Oh, you might want to hang on to something. Word of advice. Up to you.
So up here, Wheatley is going to spend, like, literally an entire minute talking. I must stress that, you really should get containerized save. He's going to spend forever talking, and then you're going to have to jump twice. Something that is useful to know is that if you stand right under Wheatley, you can just spam scroll wheel, and then you'll jump as much as possible. And then you wait for him to say, and then you jump twice, and then you wait literally 2 minutes. That is the old way to do it, and I would highly recommend getting containerized save. Which is why, right now, I'm going to go over how to install containerized save. So, to get container ride save, you go to speedrun.com / just look for Portal 2 on speedrun.com. And then if you go to the Portal 2 speedrun.com page, there's in the left menu, you'll see resources. Click on that. And then in there will be container ride save. And that's a zip file. And if you download and open up the zip file, there's a demo and there's a .dem file and a .sav file. The .dem file is pretty much useless. You don't have to care about that. But what you do care about is the .sav file. So you want to go to your Portal 2 directory, as I mentioned in Chapter 0 of this tutorial. Go to Portal 2, save, it's in all caps, and then there's going to be a folder with a bunch of numbers in it. That's your Steam ID. Click that, and you'll see I already have a ton of saves here. But what you want to do is take that container ride save.sav, which is this folder right here, and just put it in there. And then that is everything you actually need to do to install container ride save. It's done. If they've signed into multiple Steam accounts, they have to figure out which one is their Steam account. Okay. Yeah, you can just put it in, I guess, every folder. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, you will need to do that. So now that you've installed container ride save, back on how to use container ride save. If you're using SAR, which I went over how to install SAR, so you really should be using SAR, you'll need to type SAR_speedrun_offset 16868 in the console. I already told you to do that. Oh. But type SAR_speedrun_offset 16868, and what that does is it sets SAR to start at the correct time when using container ride save. If you didn't use that, all your speedrun would be 4 minutes faster and it would be illegal. So once you've done that, all you need to do is type load container ride save, and then it'll load the save. And this is what the save looks like. You can start recording a demo here, record a funny demo name, and then once it crashes in there, you're ready to start your speedrun. As soon as the crosshair appears, your speedrun starts. The timer's going. It's all good. I currently have Wheatley muted right now. But that's how you use container ride save. I highly recommend everybody do that, because it'll save 5 minutes off of your life every attempt. So, with this said, now this is the start of the speedrun. The very first thing, pause a bit in the future before pressing enter on commands. Right, okay. The very first thing in any speedrun is as soon as your crosshair appears, you'll also feel like you'll move a little bit. You can now walk through this. You can't walk through it before your crosshair appears. So you want to try to get a circle jump all the way from here and land in there. You don't want to like land on this thing. That's slow. So you want it to look like that. It's not too hard to get that. But you can also do like this. It's an option. You don't want to land on here. I did it on purpose, but you don't want to land there. Just do a circle jump straight from there into here. It doesn't lose much time if you don't get it, but you should do it every run. And this is also another long cutscene where the announcer's talking. It's like 30-40 seconds long. I have a save that is past this cutscene, but you can't use that save in speedruns. That's illegal. So, once the announcer is done talking, you'll be here and the portal will open. As soon as the portal opens, this is really the first time you start bunny hopping in this game. And this is the time you're going to realize that, I need to practice bunny hopping. So, I'm going to show my bunny hop pattern, what I and all the professionals do. You might not be able to like get around the course in as many hops as us, but I just do circle jump, bunny hop, slow down to turn. Something also important, if you're bunny hopping too fast, you can't turn in the air because the game doesn't let you. It's a weird Portal 2 mechanic. That is also something you'll get better at with practice. So bunny hop, slow down, bunny hop, and you land pretty much here. This is the first time that there's any important dialogue in the run. All the dialogue before was important, you can ignore it. but there's like a minute's worth of dialogue just in this room. And you want to activate it at just the right time so it like skips certain parts of this dialogue. Let me show you what it sounds like if I just do this room as like fast as possible.
Testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency. If cube and button-based testing
You'll see he
cause
does
this
that.
emergency,
If cube and button-based testing causes this emergency, it's very slim. Now, if that happens, you lose like 15 seconds, because listen to this.
the odds of this happening twice are very slim.
You'll see how his dialogue got like glitched cut off. And if I go in the elevator will not trigger the next level. You will have to ride... What? That's never happened before. Hang on.
Cube and button-based testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency. If cube and button-based testing cause this emergency, don't worry. The odds of this happening twice are very slim.
Okay. It takes longer than normal. The point it does. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it does take longer than normal. So you want to do specific things to avoid that. And there's a fast way to do it and a slow way to. I'll show the slow way first. And the slow way to do it, both ways to do it. The first jump should actually land on this button, and then do an imperfect hop off this button. Because when you put the cube on that button, it takes like 2 seconds for the door to open. But if you jump on the button, those 2 seconds will be up by the time you actually put the cube on the button. And it's better to show it. If I put this on the button, see the door doesn't open forever. But if I was to jump off the button and then put the cube on the button, it opens immediately. So you have to do that, and that makes the faster skip actually possible. So for the slower skip, what you want to do is you want to enter the door, you stop just before the door, and then you enter the door about when he says emergency.
Button-based testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency. Please note the
Going on when he says like the emergency, the M, the first M in emergency.
incandescent particle field.
And then you'll notice he says something different.
Material emancipation grill will vaporize
And then you enter the elevator just as soon as possible, and it fades much sooner. So that is the slow way to do it. There is a faster way, which involves bunny hopping through this door and going through the fizzler. So this is what the fast way looks like.
Cube and button-based testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency. You have just
It's the same deal. You go through the fizzler on emergency, but it activates another dialogue, which is a bit faster.
emancipation grill, which vaporizes most aperture science.
And we're back. But yeah, that's the fast way to do it, is you have to jump on the button, go to the cube, and then if you get unlucky, it's actually impossible because the door will mess with you, like that.
Even in a dire emergency, you have just
For a lot of people, just going as fast as possible will get it. But that's actually a faster route and only saves about 2 seconds, but it is hard. I would only recommend doing that once you're comfortable with bunny hopping.
which vaporizes most
And for both of those routes,
that touches.
you just get in the elevator as soon as possible. A lot of the times you actually don't do that, but I'll go over why in this chamber.
If you feel
This is the second chamber in the game. And for the first part of it, dialogue doesn't matter. Once you get to this door, you want to do a very, very long circle jump so that you land here, ideally. What you don't want to do is something like... land on the lip. Oh my god. You don't want to land on the lip of the... I'm forgetting what it's called. Basically, you don't want to land here so that all your speed gets cancelled. I'm sort of messing it up. Is that even possible? Oh, never mind. That's actually not possible. Okay. But yeah, you just... Ideally, like the professionals, we do 1 hop here, 2 hops here, and then we land right next to the button. It might take you like 3 hops. But the important thing is hit this button as soon as possible. Then go back through... 2 hops ideally, grab the cube, 1 hop back. Once you get through this portal, drop the cube there so you can go and hit this button, because you can't hit the button while grabbing the cube. Turn right, grab the cube, put it on the button, bunny hop to this button. Something to note, like stuff like this that's on the ground, especially earlier in the game, can really mess with your speed in kind of weird ways, so watch out for that. And as soon as you go through this portal, there's a trigger, and as soon as you hit that trigger, the dialogue starts. And something important to note, getting in the elevator the fastest is not what's actually most important usually. It's triggering the ending dialogue fastest, which I will explain why here. So I go through this portal, dialogue triggers. And at that point, your time for the level is basically set. Right now I will explain why. So when you go into an elevator, an ending elevator, the game will not, unless you go all the way down to the bottom of the elevator shaft, which saves like which takes 15 or 20 seconds, the game will not load the next level until whoever's talking is done talking. Because the dialogue in this game is really good, so they wanted you to hear all of it. And okay, I'm gonna make a save there and cheat. So you'll see this elevator shaft is like really long, right? Super long. You do not want to have to go all the way to the bottom of that. That would take forever. So along this elevator shaft, there are several like spots where there's loading triggers. Now I can't see the loading triggers because they're not actually triggers. But basically, there's probably one like here, there's one like here, perhaps one here, one here. Basically, it's not constant. So the elevator only hits a trigger like every 1 or 2 seconds. So, and if it is not in a trigger when the dialogue ends, you'll have to wait all the way until the elevator hits a trigger. So, on every elevator with dialogue that's long, you want to time entering the elevator so that it hits a trigger as soon as the dialogue is done. And there's really convenient timings for that, where you can just enter the elevator when he says a word, he or she says a word, and then you'll get a perfect fade. That's known as a fade. So now I will reload the fade and reload the save and show you what the fade is for this map. It's constructs. As soon as he says constructs, enter the elevator. This one takes really long. Line up around here usually, is where I do. I lied, it was associate. As soon as he says the word associate, enter the elevator. And then you'll see here that will give you a perfect fade. As soon as he stops talking, the elevator ends. I will demonstrate really quickly what happens if you go at the wrong time, like too early.
Please take a moment to write down the results of your test. An Aperture Science Reintegration Associate.
See, I went at the wrong time there. Now look at this.
Has been rebuilt.
Never mind. Let me go really early.
Please take a moment to write down the results of your test. An Aperture Science Reintegration Associate will revive you for an interview when society has been rebuilt.
Okay, you didn't quite see it there, but it took a while from when the dialogue was finished to when the elevator loaded. That can be like 2 seconds sometimes if you go in a really bad spot. So entering the elevator on the correct time doesn't save too much time, but it's like 1 to 2 seconds every map, but that's over a minute in a full game run, so you kind of need to do that. Alright, and also, yeah, you can tell when the dialogue is finished by when the beep is, in case you don't know for some reason.
If the Earth is currently governed by...
So this next map is the first actual dialogue skip in the game. This game is very heavy on dialogue. So the first part's pretty simple. Just jump here. You can jump through this door. Some doors in the game, they open a bit faster than normal, so you can actually jump through them if you do it right. If you just try to go as fast as possible, you won't get it. But if you like slow down a bit before you jump, you'll be able to jump right through the door. So that is faster, I believe. Then go over here, and then get through this door, jump out, and jump to the left. And landing on here will trigger a bunch of dialogue and stuff. Now, as soon as you hit this trigger, you are on a timer to get a dialogue skip. Luckily, the timer is pretty lenient, but it's still worth mentioning. So I'm gonna hit this, and he's gonna say, "Whoa!" And then there's actually a slanted surface right below me, and because of the strafe I did, I have some speed going in that direction towards the portal gun. And if I unpause and jump at the right time, you'll see it just gave me a bunch of speed. Now this portal gun up here you don't actually have to go up here and pick the portal gun up like this. What you can do is just jump and press the use key, and you get it. So do that, that's much faster. Then go through here and make this shot. What you don't want to do is make that shot, because if you make that shot, you can't go through. It's kind of hard. Eventually you'll be able to do that. Make the shot. Just like go through. Make the shot. But it is hard. It's kind of a harder shot. It's definitely worth lining up, because for the easy dialogue skip at least, it's fairly easy to get it. So I'm going to turn the dialogue back on, and then show you what doing fast looks like, or show you what it should look like. Just bunny hop through here as fast as you can. So now here there's a dialogue skip. Down in this chamber, the announcer is going to say something, and then the announcer will also say something at the end of the chamber. But what we like to do is he starts saying something, then Wheatley interrupts him. So his first dialogue essentially takes like 0 seconds. And that will help us, that'll make the dialogue at the end of the chamber shorter, meaning you can enter the elevator faster, meaning that you can end the chamber faster.
I'm going to work on the assumption that you're still alive, and I'm just going to wait for you up ahead.
That's what the dialogue skip sounds like. The announcer starts talking and then immediately is cut off by Wheatley. And what that means is you can go to the end of the chamber, and his second dialogue starts. And there's a pretty easy setup for the dialogue skip. What you do is line up about here. It's not very precise at all, but just about here. On this slightly darker part of the ground. You can also do like here. But line up here, and then when Wheatley says the word wait, when Wheatley says like, I'm just going to wait for you up ahead. When he says that word, just hold W. And then you'll enter the chamber. You can portal on this wall or this one, it doesn't really matter. And then just go to the chamber like normal. Just a quick, and you're done. So let me turn it on and do the same thing.
Some emergency testing.
I think it actually might be a bit later. You might want to line up a little bit behind there. Yeah, line up a little bit behind where I said, or go a little bit later. It's fairly precise, but it's not the most precise thing in the world. And getting that is important because it saves like 10 seconds. And then Wheatley's, if the announcer is talking, that means you messed it up. If Wheatley and the announcer are talking, that's a bit more complicated, and I'll get to that later. But then just go through here, and if you got the dialogue skip, you can go in the elevator immediately. There's also other ways to set up the dialogue skip, but you can look at those independently if you want. Now I'm going to attempt to show you the fast dialogue skip. I honestly don't even really have a setup for the fast dialogue skip, so I can't teach one. And it's likely that anyone watching this won't be able to do it, because you have to get really good hops to do it. But I will attempt to show what it looks like. And I messed up. You have to get that hop. That shot. You know, I'm not going to spend like an hour trying to get the fast dialogue skip. But basically, you just go really fast. And then Wheatley's other line interrupts the announcer's line. It saves like 6 seconds. But I'm going to ignore that for now. And then if you miss the dialogue skip for some reason and you end up here, then you need to wait for him to talk.
Respected your rights as detailed in the laws of robotics. Please note it on your self-reporting form. A future Aperture Science Entitlement Associate will initiate the appropriate grievance filing paperwork.
If you missed it, go on the word science. If you hit it, the elevator will open pretty much on the word science. So, that is Portal Gun. Time for the next map, which is Smooth Jazz. This is another short one.
This next step.
Oh, the trigger for that elevator is mega far down the stairs. Is it possible to like just have no dialogue? I don't think it is.
Is very dangerous.
Okay. This the first part of this chamber is sort of weird. because these leaves actually have weird collision, and if you try to wall strafe up here, they will knock you out. So this and another chamber later on, you actually have to wall strafe up the left side. Because I usually wall strafe up the right side, and I think most people do, so it'll mess you up. So wall strafe up the left side here, and then here, there's actually a way I like to bunny hop that lines up my hops really nice. I bunny hop here, hit my head on this door, and then just do bunny hops, and I get to here. You can do anything, but that's recommended. And then right here, the cube will fall down, and normally you'd have to do that, put the cube on the button yourself. But there's a much better way you can do. If you shoot that shot, the cube landed on the button. It didn't stay on the button, obviously, but it did land on the button. You see there? Even though it landed on a button for a split second, if you're holding into a wall, okay, you saw what I did there, but I have a bad save, so let's see if I can get this. Yeah, you'll see, and normally you want to make this shot early, so it's like that, straight, or like that, parallel. Neither one, it's a very consistent trick, but you just want to get that shot, and then hold up against the door. Okay, let me do that. Normally, if you don't stop to make the shot, then you will have no problem getting to the door. And also, if like 1 in 100 chance the cube doesn't like land on the button or something, the door will close, and you just have to go through and put it on the button. Also, there's a weird something there that might mess you up. And then here's the second part of the chamber. You jump through here. There's actually a trigger like in this part of the room, so if you jump out of the left and then go to the right, the orange portal will open up faster. And this is like the first real glitch in the run. So once you go through this portal, shoot a portal under that cube. Okay, shoot a portal under that cube, and then shoot a portal about at that where those two lines intersect. It's not precise, but that's about where it is. And then go through here with the portal, and we're gonna push the cube through that door, because if you do that, the cube is incinerated, and then he talks about how you failed and the door's open. That's faster than any other way to do the chamber. And the way you push the cube through the door, you can't just push it through the door. You have to put it kind of close to the portal and then slide it through the door. Because that way the game kind of thinks it's going through a portal, so it should go through that wall, but it's actually going through the door. It's very easy once you get used to it, but it is something you should get a feel for. Also, worth mentioning, there is another way to do it, where you don't even go through the door, and you just do like, I can't do it, but you can push the cube through the door from this side, and then if you do that, you can get in the room faster. It saves half a second, but it's faster to throw it down. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of little things in the game, but yeah, you learn those after picking it up. And then as soon as you get into this room, shoot a portal there. Hang on.
You have trapped yourself. Congratulations. The exit door.
As soon as you get into this room, somewhere in between, like when he says the exit door is now open, do a circle jump into the portal when he says now.
Is now open.
And if you do the circle jump right and go through the portal, you'll be able to land past this glass. If you land on the glass, there's a chance it could slow you down. So jump through here, and because there's no dialogue, enter this elevator as soon as possible. And now onto cube momentum. This map has actually the potential to be not really hard, but it's easy to mess up. So this chamber, I believe there's actually something. No, there's nothing on the left, so you can wall strafe up any side. Just jump here, jump through the door, and then here shoot a portal under yourself, so that as soon as the orange portal opens, you fall through. And strafe to the right once you get out of that portal. Just, you know. And then press this button as soon as possible. Go through the portal. And then you do what's called a portal stand, which is really easy to do, honestly. Easier than in Portal 1, because to do a portal stand, all you do is shoot, and in this case, hold back and left at the same time. Just press all 3 buttons at the same time, and you'll get it. It's like a 2-part trick, and that's the easier part. Sometimes if you're like touching the left side of the portal or something weird, it'll if you do it wrong, that's what it looks like. It'll push you out. Just do it again if you do it wrong. But then you're here, and now you wonder how to get that cube over to here without the dual portal gun. But I'm actually gonna show something. Now the game's running in 5 times slow motion. So if I shoot the portal under the cube, see, it's actually outside of the orange portal for a little bit. And something cool you can do is you can shoot the portal. That's the wrong save. Whoops. You could place the portal like half a second, or like just a fraction of a second after pressing back. But it's doing them both at the same time works. So, something cool about this, the game's running at a bit slower now, is you can shoot the portal under there, and then just after the cube passes through the portal, reshoot the portal here and grab it. So this is what it looks like in sort of slow motion. You see the cube was falling out, and I went and grabbed it. Not even a chance. Okay. So in full speed, it looks like this. That is something you'll have to practice, because the timings are a bit, I don't know, weird. If you shoot the portal at you too early, the cube doesn't have time to fall through the portal, and that won't work. And sometimes that'll happen where you don't grab the cube. It's really something you have to practice. Even I have to practice it sometimes. So you want to be close to the portal to grab the cube, otherwise it might have fallen through. And then put the cube on the button as soon as possible, because as soon as you put the cube on the button,
and a reminder that although circumstances,
the dialogue starts, and then there is a dialogue trigger for this one. You have to go when he says concepts.
well done. The enrichments and a reminder that although circumstances may appear bleak, you are not alone. All Aperture Science personality constructs will remain functional in apocalyptic, low-power environments.
So see here, he'll stop talking, and I immediately load the next map. Alright, there is only a few more maps left in this chapter, really. This is the other map where you can't go up on the right, because there's something weird that stops you. So go up on the left side here, and then go forward. There's a trigger here that activates the orange portal, so you want to hit that as early as possible. And so go over either to this wall or this wall, and do the same thing. Do a portal stand where you shoot a portal and then start moving back left immediately. You can actually start back left and then shoot a portal slightly after. That'll work the same thing. Also, it's possible... Let me see if I can do it. It's possible to do that, but if that happens, just try it again. And then also, yeah, something to mention about the last chamber. There is a small chance that if you put the cube on the button just in the wrong way, the dialogue will not play. If that happens, put the cube in the center of the button, and it'll play. That's really annoying, but small thing. And then here, you're actually going to do the exact same thing again as the other chamber, which is shoot a portal under here, then go through here and grab the cube. And this one's a lot easier than the last one for some reason. Just... And then once you have this, put it there, go through the door. And what he's saying right now doesn't matter. And then here, at the start of this room, move right. This is my hop pattern. 1, 2, 3, and I jump right over that. This jump right here, there's a chance it might be too hard. If you get like pre-hops and practice this pattern, it should be pretty easy. But if you can't make the jump, shoot a portal there, and then fall down here. Now this button, one would think that you'd have to put the cube on the button to activate the door. But there's a cool glitch with the button, where if you line it up in the right way, you can actually keep the button pressed permanently. So the really easy way to line up that glitch is to get in the corner right here. You actually want to get in the corner hugging this glass, not this wall, because they are different corners. Get in the corner hugging this glass. Zoom in. This is a setup for 1080p. If you're running at a different resolution, you might want to change the setup mildly. So you'll see there are 5 dots of your main crosshair in the middle, and then there's the portal things. Line it up so that the right dot of the crosshair is in line with this white light. So line it up so that you basically can't see the crosshair, and then hold forward, and you'll get it pretty much every fine. It's a fairly lenient setup. It's also worth noting that you can get it just by doing that, although that's very inconsistent. And then once you've done that, shoot a portal about there, jump through to here, and you finish the chamber.
We're getting this far, future starter.
And then the timing for going in the elevator here,
Irradiated in such a way that the future should not start with you. Please return to your primitive
once he says please return, enter on return.
tribe and send back someone better qualified for testing.
And then it's as soon as possible. Okay, this next map,
Moving shortly.
a few months ago, Kurzihow found a way to entirely skip all this dumb stuff with having to mess with Wheatley and all that. There was another skip which involved like making this jump, which is kind of hard, especially for new people, and then walking around here, doing all this nonsense, jumping over here. It was kind of a dumb skip, and it didn't even skip that much. So now there's a way. This door right here won't open if you don't have Wheatley, but there's a way to shoot right through it. It's very precise though. This is the first time in the run that you will actually need these numbers in the top left corner of the screen, so I'll have those up for now. When you enter the chamber, there's a few things you can do. You can jump over here, because you do the skip from about here. Or you can enter the chamber, shoot a portal here, and then jump out of the portal and land on here. They're about the jump. Which one's faster depends on how good you are at the game. But you want to get onto this block regardless. So you want to stand on this block. And then this shot through the door is incredibly precise. So like it'll likely take you at least 5 seconds to get the shot. So there's a setup for 3 of the numbers up in the top left have to be pretty much spot on. So the first number in position, that's -501 right now, it can actually be anywhere from about -505 to -501, but then that changes how the second number in the angle needs to be, and it's a bit complicated. So basically, to set it up, just get it about on this side of the block so that your position is about -502. It's not too important right now. And then something here that I should mention. I have a bind on my mouse to change my sensitivity to incredibly low. I run with 1 sensitivity right now. But I have a button on my mouse bound so that I can press that button, and then my sensitivity is incredibly low. I'm moving my mouse in like a foot-wide circle right now. And you're going to need that bind in order to do this shot. So look about here, and then press that bind so you can change your angle more slightly. So the second number in your angle should be about anywhere from -169.22 to -169.26 or 28. What I do is I have that at -169.22. And then the first number in your angle has to be 0.00. It cannot be -0.00. It has to be 0.00. And something to note, the decimal places in CL Chopaz only go to 2 places. That's actually not enough. It's more precise than the Chopaz allows. But if that's the case, you have it lined up perfectly and you're not getting it, just move your mouse by a hair. So I am actually lined up pretty good right now, and if I shoot, you'll see I shot straight through the door. So one of the lineups is -505 about on the position, 0.00 on the angle, not this, not negative, 0.00 on the angle, and negative 169.22. With that, you get the shot every time. Sometimes you'll be like a bit too far to the left, and then it won't work. If your position is a bit lower, like say negative 502, then you might want to change the second number in your angle to be a bit higher. Although I find it just most consistent with negative 169.22. So this shot is incredibly precise. You'll likely spend 10, maybe even 15 seconds getting the shot, but it still saves a ton of time. When you shoot, the mouse moves a bit. No, it doesn't. The CL show pause numbers move, but the actual angle you're aiming at doesn't move at all. And yes, the camera does automatically move downward really slowly. If I set my angle at 0.00 and then take my mouse off the mouse pad, eventually it will reach 0.01. So that's something to watch out for, like it did there. So once you get that shot, hold down and right and go into the portal. What? I missed the shot. Let me get it again real quick. There we go. There we go. I got the shot. So now your blue portal will be here, past the door. And I can close that for now. So now it's just a matter of bunny hopping to the end as fast as possible. Something to watch out for. There's a weird clip brush here that you might get stuck on. And here. There's a lot of weird clip brushes here. So watch out for those. Like if you do that, you get moved and yeah. It's kind of weird to hop through here perfectly. Just hop through here. Open this door. Something to mention here, don't stand in a portal for this transition because you will soft lock. And then through here, you're going to spawn with Wheatley. And this entire chamber is just a matter of bunny hopping. I'm going to show my bunny hopping route. You likely will not be able to do it because it's kind of hard. But this is what it looks like. There's no strategy besides bunny hopping in this map. There's one thing. You have to crouch under this door because it allows you to get through faster. That's it. Also, don't bunny hop on this pipe because it is some weird things with it. It'll make you move in ways that aren't expected. It'll slow you down and stuff.
I just looked down. I do not recommend it. Ah, I've just done it again. This.
If you bunny hop way too fast, like incredibly fast, you can soft lock here. But if that happens, it won't happen. But if that happens, just wait a bit. And I believe there's a look trigger here, so you have to look here.
The main breaker room. Let's go in.
And then enter the room before he finishes saying this is the main breaker room, and you won't lose any time. So once you're here,
that says escape pod.
You basically can't lose time.
Not interested in anything else. Don't touch anything else.
It's a trigger activated by a Wheatley.
We'll look at everything else to find the escape pod. But as soon as you look at something that doesn't
say but that's not really.
Look at the next thing, all right? But don't
I don't know that, so I'm not going to go into that.
Things, but don't.
So Wheatley's going to talk for forever. And then he's going to ask you to plug him in.
Tell you what, plug me in and I'll turn the lights on.
And something to note here, if you stand to the right, and as soon as you plug him in, if you go here and spam jump, you should be able to get on top of him. I kind of messed it up. But if you can get on top of him, that's cool, because it allows you to do this as soon as he gets up. You get here, and then you can grab Hoopy. So you kind of have to do that for your run to be legit. No, not really, but I'd recommend doing that. And then the rest of this next map is entirely a cutscene. You don't have to do a single thing. Your time is locked. And the beginning of the next map is also a cutscene. So I have a save just to skip this cutscene.
The incinerator room.
So right here is when you spawn in. This is the last map. And something to note here. There's a trigger right here that activates these pipes moving out of the way. And the unoptimal way to do this is to jump. I actually missed my jump, but if you jump over there, you'll hit the trigger later and you'll be able to go later, which is not optimal. So you want to, like, AD spam, kind of, so that you stick to the ground and activate the trigger early. It's like a 0.1 second time save, but worth talking about. And then here, there's two ways to go here. You can go left, which is the harder and faster way, or you can go right, which is a lot easier. You can't die, but it's a bit slower. And then right here is a trigger. And if you hit this trigger, it sets something in the game off, so you can't pick up the portal gun. But if you crouch like this, move to the left slightly, and then hug this wall, you won't hit the trigger. And what that means is that you can pick up the portal gun instantly, and then go on with the rest of the chamber.
The dual portal device should be around here somewhere.
This is what it looks like, sort of fast.
We can start testing, just like old time.
And my save is a bit slow. And there's a lot of dialogue in this map, so going fast throughout the whole thing is important.
Be careful not to trip over.
So to do the first part, you can go right here, but this is faster. Then here, this is... Okay. Right here, there's a dialogue skip. Sort of. A dialogue trick.
Around here somewhere. Once you find it, we can start.
Pick the portal gun up immediately after GLaDOS says start testing. If you pick it up too early, it'll break some dialogue and you won't be able to get this dialogue skip. If you're not fast enough to do that, that's totally fine. But ideally, if you're fast enough, the goal is to be able to shoot a portal up here, here, and then go through it before her dialogue finishes. Like that.
You have a dual portal device there.
And then, once you've done that, you see how GLaDOS isn't talking, you've just set up for a dialogue skip. And then as soon as you hit this trigger, she'll say that, and then she will say the ending dialogue. There's like a 2-hour-long dialogue
Once you find it, we can
that she says otherwise, so that's a kind of important trick. If you're too slow to get it,
once you find it, we can start
like you don't have a chance of getting the...
Good. You have a dual portal device. There should be a way back to the there. Once testing starts, I'm required by...
If you're too slow, she'll say once testing starts, I'm required by protocol, blah blah blah. That's not too... It's significantly slower, but it's not like game ending.
Protocol to keep interaction with you to a minimum. Luckily.
So you want to get here before she's done with this quote, and look about there.
This will be our only chance to talk. But the
because there's a look trigger there. And if you don't look there, she might say another dialogue, or she might say no dialogue, which is a disaster on this map. So that is the way to get the dialogue. I hope I explained it well enough.
important thing is you're back.
And then to actually get over this, because this takes forever to open, so there's a really easy way to get over it.
Here somewhere. Once you find it, we can start testing, just like old time. Once good, you
Also,
have a dual portal device.
I actually forgot to mention, once you've done this, you shoot a portal there and there. And then you do another portal stand. This one's kind of hard for some reason. But you do a portal stand there. You might want to start moving left a frame or so before you shoot the portal. And then shoot the other portal here, another portal stand. Go right, wall strafe, jump here to hit that shot. Right there. Go through, strafe to the left to hit this trigger.
I'll just move that out of the
That's how you do this.
somewhere. Once you find it, we can start testing, just like old time. Once testing good, you have a dual portal device. There.
So go here,
I'll just
look there, and as soon as she starts talking, you can look away.
move that out of the
Shoot
way
portals
for you.
here and here,
This place really is
jump and strafe to the left, you'll land on
But the
top of this whole
important
thing.
is you're back.
And that skips having to wait for it.
And now I'm
And right here, you have to enter the elevator when she says 4 the rest of your life. Enter on the 4.
on to all your little tricks. So there's nothing to stop us from testing for the rest of your life.
If for some reason you're too slow, there's another one that I know.
Rest of your life. After that, who knows?
And when she says enter when she says who. That's another way to get it.
Dead, maybe.
In both cases, you'll pretty much do that perfectly. And now we're on to chapter 2, which will be for another video. So stay tuned for that.